Hello again, everyone. Rendon here. Been a little bit distracted by Diablo 4, Tears of the Kingdom, a little bit more of Destiny 2, Crucible PvP, and the new Season of the Deep. Have not had as much time for Elden Ring invasions recently. It's not really a problem. It's actually probably the first time in a long time that I have not been just playing Elden Ring invasions all the time. Good to take a break every once in a while. It's not like we have an unhealthy habit in this or anything, or at least what we would consider an unhealthy habit. But there's just a lot of stuff out right now, a lot of really, really good games, and it feels nice to play something a little bit different, something a little bit fresh. We'll definitely make my way back to Elden Ring in the future. I know plenty of people are still playing Elden Ring, but I know a lot of us are taking a much-deserved hiatus from it to try out some different things and play some different games, and who could blame you? With Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, games like Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16 is coming out later on. I know that not many of you probably play Destiny. Skill Up plays Destiny, and I'm always, it makes me feel a little bit more like it's viable and appropriate to still play in this year of our Lord 2023. But I figured I would put out a video about something that I was playing with, before I started taking a break from Elden Ring, a continuation of the Great Sword Offhand dagger that I was running in the last video, or the end of the last video. This is more of a build just for invasions. It is not as good as the cold, or I guess any type of greatsword that has cold infusion and offhand cold dagger, or even that of a great sword with bleed and offhand bleed dagger. It just does not have the proc skill that you would need for something like that. However, it is still good. But yeah. A little bit of a weird break there because my wife came in to tell me she was going to go pick up the groceries, which I really appreciate her for. Anyway, this is going to be a shorter video today. I was just talking about great swords and offhand daggers. I wanted to do something a little bit different than just the cold setup and the cold offhand dagger, which is still my favorite. Don't get me wrong, but I thought I'd try this formula in a couple of different ways, and I was like, maybe some other people don't want to run that. What else would be viable that could work that people would want to run with in invasions? And I knew that I'd been wanting to play around with Ordovis' greatsword for a little while because I kind of, based on some lore from the Tarnished Archaeologist, Smotown, and others like that, view the Crucible Knights a lot like the Knights of the Round Table. I guess that makes Godfrey somewhat of akin to a badass version of King Arthur, who was already badass, but, Anyway, I was experimenting with it. I wanted to play with it, so I was like, okay, well, then I'll use Ordovis greatsword. Problem with it is pairing what offhand dagger would pair well with Ordovis, because the natural synergy of an offhand dagger with something like a greatsword is to make people fear the dagger for a reason, to make them respect the dagger. And it's really hard to do in a game that has passive poise when like 99.9% of people can poise through a dagger and just smack you with something much bigger than that does way more damage. So if you're going to use something like Ordovis, what kind of offhand dagger can you use to make people respect if it's not going to be a cold dagger or a cold synergy with it? Well, offhand rot dagger would work for that, which I think is probably the least offensive of the rot weapons. My thinking was this. So I wanted to use Ordovis because it's an awesome great sword, and someone actually really, really took me to town with it. I think it was before I made the actual video, the 4 builds video, in the arena with it. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. I want to try that and see what they were doing. It's basically no different, and they weren't using the offhand rot dagger, but it catapulted me wanting to use Ordovis. So I was like, okay, people naturally fear rot. You see here this person's using double rot spears, and actually they were pretty cool at the end of this, so I'll give them a little bow at the end. And I was like, okay, when they see that rot proc, they know instinctively, even if maybe they shouldn't fear it as much, because I'm really not proccing rot on this very much, but they're instinctively going to roll because nobody wants to get rot on them. Everybody knows that rot is a bad time. So if I'm forcing them to respect the rot dagger, I'm making them roll. And if I'm making them roll, I'm making them roll into my roll catch R1s, or even better, my roll catch greatsword R2s. And the added benefit that Ordovis has here, you see here my tears popped, and I felt a little bit, I don't know why. I don't normally love duels like this, but I was like, okay, I'll let him get one Moonveil hit on me just to kind of even it out. Anyway, if Ordovis has the weapon art, the Ash of War, that's the Ordovis' Vortex, and that is a good Ash of War to deal with multiple people in invasion. I was like, okay, that's a natural synergy for this. Ordovis is a good great sword, solid great sword. It has that Ash of War, Ordovis's Vortex, so I can mix that in with the R2s and the R1s. If I throw the dagger and they roll through that, but they also roll through the sword hit, the R1 or the R2, and they try to hit me after that. Ordovis has a lot of poise or hyper armor, so I can cast that and catch him with it. I was like, perfect, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted. And it worked about like how you'd expect. It was very good. I was also trying to see if I could pair the Crucible horns, the fully proc Crucible horns knocking people into the air. If there was enough time to land Ordovis's Vortex when they were getting up, but unless I was doing it wrong, the timing is just, there's too much of a delay before you can start the Vortex after the incantation, so it didn't really work. See here, I'm fighting what looks like to be a Taunter's Tongue, Host and Phantom. Taunter's Tongue, or the Host, is using the Grafted Greatsword. He's using the Val of the Indomitable to tank hits and eat a lot of damage, or not eat a lot of damage because it's boosting his defenses. And it's actually a really cool way to use Ultra Greatswords. They're both using Black Flame. This is just a fun invasion. Spoilers, I lose it. I'll lose a couple of these in this video, but that's not really the point. I'm not just going to show you wins in these. I just want to show you good fights. So this is a shorter video. These are the clips that I had, and they're pretty good clips. So that's what you're going to see. Anyway, again, you have on this build the Rot Dagger making people roll. You have the Roll Catch R1s and R2s on the Greatsword, and you have Ordovis's Vortex for dealing with 2 people. And you'll see in a minute kind of how the Ordovis Vortex works really well with dealing with these two when they're chasing me down after this Phantom or the Bloody Finger. See there, he dies. You'll see I even get a couple of poise breaks as this person is using the Val of the Indomitable and guarding with it. I do not, unfortunately, get to take advantage of it because I just either mashed R1 too early or I wasn't at the right angle. But either way, it was very close. And I've definitely caught people with it several times before. It's just a fun combo. If you want to do something a little bit different than just, bleed Greatsword, offhand bleed dagger, or, cold Greatsword, cold offhand dagger, or if you want to do poison, if you want to get away from like the status effects and not make the status effect the main part of this setup, but you still want to make people fear the dagger, the offhand Rot Dagger is a good way to do that. And again, you're not really proccing Rot on people. You can with sustained hits, but I rarely saw it. My whole point was to make people fear the dagger, make them roll so that my Greatsword could do the work. And it worked. It worked for this. I'm also rocking a lot of poison in this because I was leaning into the Crucible Knight theme for this. Obviously, I'm still rocking the Imped Wolf. This is just Renly. He's just been, for this, I just kind of changed around the poise, changed around some of the talismans for it, and just, put Ordovis on him because he's a strength build, and I think Ordovis is a strength Greatsword with a faith requirement. And I put the Rot Dagger on him, which, obviously it just fit on it, so it was fine. It's nothing crazy. But it's fun, and it works. I'm just trying to show you that you can do this kind of thing with different setups. You don't have to use just, status procs, although those are definitely better. There's no doubt about it. This was fun, but it's not as strong as those. But it does give you some more options with that Ash of War, like I said. It is fun. And, Ordovis is neat. You don't see it as much in PvP, and that's unfortunate because I think it's really good. You see here, I didn't take the time to heal. I should have. Phantom came up behind me and hit me with the oh my god, what is it called? Her blade, Queen's Flame blade. No, Black Flame. I don't remember. It's one of those. It's a really cool sword. I think Diggus Thickus put out a video not too long ago where he was hitting people with Black Flame, and then that true comboed it into an R1 from the Ultra Greatsword. I mean, that's really cool. I like that a lot. That's neat, and it's not overpowered either. Anyway, that's it though. I just wanted to put a video about this because that was something that I was working on before all these games just came out and consumed my life. Again, I will return to Elden Ring. We're all eagerly waiting for DLC. Maybe we'll get something about it from Gamescom this year, or whatever. Just any one of the upcoming summer events would be really nice. Anyway, I hope y'all are all enjoying whatever you're playing now. I hope you're still enjoying Elden Ring if you're playing Elden Ring. And I will catch you all very soon in the future. Thank you for watching. And hey, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks a lot, guys and girls.